ourselves to you collectively, and then we'd love to hear from you. And you're all with farms or fairs and field days. Okay, good. Right. Well, good morning. I'm David Durfee. I'm chair of the committee, and I represent Shaftesbury, as well as Glastonbury and Sunderland down in Bennington County. So why don't we just go around and, yeah.
Sure. Hi, all. Heather Supernaut, Vice Chair. I represent Windsor Forge, the towns of Barnard, Pomfret, and Bridgewater.
Hi, Esme Cole, Windsor 6, Hartford.
Mike Rice, represent the Bennington Rutland District, Danby, Dorset, Landgrove, Mount Tabor, and Peru.
Josie Levitt, Grand Isle Chittenden, which is all of Grand Isle County, and West Milton.
I'm David Templeman. I represent Brownington, Barton, and Westmore in Orleans County.
I'm Charles Wilson from Caledonia 3, which is Linden, Sheffield, Wheelock, Newark, and Sutton.
Henry Pearl, Caledonia, Washington District, which is Danville, Peacham, and Cabot.
Jed Lipsky, Lamoille 1, Stowe.
Rodney Graham, Orange 3, which is Williamstown and Chelsea.
Thank you. Please don't have a test afterwards. My name is Bob Allen, Robert Allen. I am one of the past presidents from the Vermont Agricultural Fair Association. And I'm here, I have with me, I have Jeff Lee from CVE, from Caledonia County. Dave Martin from the Farm Show has not shown up yet. Ken Button and Barrett from Addison County, and Nancy Howell from Tunbridge. Those are the fairs. Just for the new people, I know some of you have heard this before, but I'll just be real quick and get out of here so they can speak. The Vermont Fair Association is made up of 12 agricultural fairs all over the state of Vermont. The furthest one south is down in the Wilmington, Vermont area. And then we have Barton, Caledonia County, CVE on the northern end of our spectrum, but every place in between. And many of you, I'm sure, know the fairs in your respective area. There's 12 fairs. The Vermont Dairy Festival is also a member. The Maple Festival is a member, as is the Farm Show. So basically we're made up of 15 events, if you want to call it that, through the course of the year. We certainly want to thank you for taking your time. We know that things are busy and a lot's happening up here in Montpelier this year, and there's a lot of new faces. So with that, each one of these people here, or at least most of them, have a presentation to make. Certainly want to thank you for the support that you give the fairs and the stipends as well as the capital grants. It's one of the things that keeps some of the fairs running throughout the from year to year. So, and the capital grants is a big thing for them to be able to improve their infrastructure. With that, I'm going to cancel out, and you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Good morning. Jeff Bartley, Marketing Director from the Champlain Valley Exposition. And we host the 10 Best Days of Summer, which as an employee, I think that's false advertising. It's a brutal run. Some of you might also know my wife. She represents Fairfax in Georgia as a freshman legislator, Ashley Bartley.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. She's loving it. So,
good.
We're very appreciative of the grants that we receive, especially the capital grants. CVE, we are an agricultural nonprofit. We have about 130 acres in the middle of Chittenden County. And while the fair is what we are known for, we do so much more than the fair. During COVID, we were a surge hospital. We had testing sites, we were a food distribution center, and over 13% of the first 2 rounds of vaccines were administered in one of our buildings. So we're very proud of that. There was a period of time during COVID where we were starting to wonder if we were going to survive. And a lot of the support that we received from the state and the federal government kept our lights on. And we're very happy to be able to come back and do the fair. Now I talk about what we use a lot of the capital grants for. We are a major economic driver in Chittenden County. Anything from RV shows, we host the farm show, which we're hoping will come back next year. The Street Rod Association brings the National Street Rod Organization. And to give you a sense of what that means just for the entity, or for the communities, they rent over $750,000 of hotel rooms over 4 days. So our facility, as a nonprofit, we are a cost-effective, a low-cost option for a lot of these national organizations, but that just goes into the community. Recent grants that we received, we used to upgrade our campground so that we could house more people from out of state, especially with the hotel crunch in Chittenden County. It's just another option, and it just brings more people from out of state. We also host 10 events in the grandstand every year. And on a good concert, we'll have 5,000 or 6,000 in the grandstand. We just announced Ludacris on Monday, so hopefully we'll get there. But we had to upgrade our fire system, the fire alarms, sprinkler systems, et cetera. And so that grant allowed us to do that. And again, as a nonprofit, some years we're in the red, some years we're in the green. Next year, we're projecting a net loss of $200,000, but we're in a good financial position where we can handle that. So the grants that we receive from you guys really keeps us going, allows us to continue to support other nonprofits. We host Girls on the Run, Relay for Life, and many others almost at cost. And we do other agricultural events. Equine, we host Green Mountain Barrel Racing on a regular basis. Again, the farm show. We have a lot of cattle exchanges will occur on our property, which we don't charge for. But with 130 acres, we can do a lot with it. So while we are much more than the fair, these grants in our organization allow us the Champlain Valley Fair to survive. And while it's the 10 best days of summer for some, we're really proud of what we can do. So thank you. And I'm happy to take any questions that you have.
What can we do to make those 10 days better for you?
Well,
I'm kidding.
it's actually 18 days for me. They rent an RV for me and I stay on site for the entire run. Because I'm also a public information officer. So if something goes wrong, or, I do 5 a.m. TV interviews and I live in Fairfax, that's not a commute I like to make, leaving, around 11 o'clock and coming back. And so this year, Ashley will be staying with me and our newborn will be with us. So we'll turn it into a family vacation of some sorts.
And a newborn.
And a newborn.
Wow,
Yes.
you are very ambitious.
Representative Lipsky.
Yeah, Jed Lipsky from Stowe. And you did not mention that you, on a biannual basis, host the Northeastern Loggers Association.
We do. Yes, we do.
Which I'm active with, based out of Old Forge.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no.
And it is it's a great site, and for our industry, that's a very important venue there in Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, we love working with them. It was a little rocky. We didn't know where they're going to come back after COVID, but Joe is an amazing person to work with. We also now host, the Champlain College Commencement, and we host. It was interesting in 2020, right before the shutdown. In 2019, we had 1 weekend we held Champlain College Commencement, and then we held the Vermont Cannabis and Hemp Convention, and then we held a who's the national. I can't think of it. It's a pastor, a national pastor. And then we held the Bernie Sanders rally. So, we hit the entire spectrum. So we're proud of that, but we're starting to get back to normal. And candidly, the event industry is struggling. And a lot of these trade shows have learned, and the farm shows, and a great example, that maybe they don't need to invest in the labor, or they don't have the labor to bring, do these trade shows on the weekend, bring up the heavy equipment, et cetera. And so we are going through a strategic process right now to see what does CVE look like in 5-10 years. We're asking ourselves some hard questions. I think a lot of businesses have done, but COVID taught us all a lot that we can do things differently. And so we're really excited about what our future looks like.
Well, Pat Benatar and Melissa Etheridge was a great evening.
It was a great concert.
I'm going to say
Bob Dylan.
And John, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Chris Vance. I'm with Caledonia County Fair. I've lost my voice a smidge, but I would tell you that I had the pleasure of working side by side with Dick Lawrence for 16 years. Learned a lot from him. I did take over for him this year. What I can tell you, morning. What I can tell you is that when Dick took over Caledonia County Fair in 1985, the fair was in pretty tough shape. And for the last 37 years, with the help of the legislature and the grant program, the fair really has been transformed into really a showplace, I think, for our community. That's really one of the things that, we take a lot of pride in the fact that the county fairs are really a great place for our communities. And again, to keep them relevant and, exciting and allowing them to continue, you really need to keep, your facilities and your entertainment, things like that, relevant. I do have some pictures if anybody would like to see any of the, the projects that we've done over the last 3 years. I can tell you that the grants and the stipend money is critically important to us. We don't have the budget of some. We don't do a lot of outside events. But we have done a lot over the years, again, using that grant money. That grant money is critically important to really starting any project. It's the seed money that allows us to get started and at least go out and solicit other people. Once you know you're going to do a project, it's much easier to get support. So I think that that's a big help for us. And I would just mention that. The nice thing, what I'm showing you now, we've worked our way around the fairgrounds. The last 3 years have been dedicated to the dairy barns that were there for many years before I can remember. And they definitely needed some tender loving care. And so we've replaced, as of this coming summer, we'll have replaced all 5 barns. The nice thing is that we'll actually pull the Holstein show out of New Hampshire, and it'll be actually at Caledonia County Fair this July. So that only happened because of, what they came and saw for facilities and the fact that, we could hold that kind of a show. So for Caledonia County, that's, anything like that is going to be super positive. And again, I just can't tell you enough. I know Dick really enjoyed his time here. He loved this committee and he loved fairs. So, I guess that's all of us. That's one of the things, if you're in this, you kind of get, you kind of get stuck. So we're happy to be here and we're just happy for the support you guys give us. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Ken Button from the Addison County Fair and Field Days. The fair unites the county. People just, like the year centers around Addison Field Days. It's a primary fundraiser for other nonprofits like the Lions Club and the Sugar Makers Association and the 4-H Foundation and the FFA group. So there's a lot of other beneficiaries to the event. I recently asked the local county 4-H agent how many kids are involved in the fair, and she said 150. And I didn't realize it would be that many. And then she said there's roughly 75 adults that go with these 4-H kids to make it go. I did bring a handout with some pictures and photos of what we've done. We try to do a project each year. The grant money and the portion of the stipend money is a huge seed to get in the project started. Our projects, probably the grants cover 1/3 to 1/2 of the construction cost. Last year, I think the antique tractor barn grant was for around $30,000, between the grant and the stipend. And we spent $90 to finish the barn, but we couldn't have gotten started without the seed money. We built a poultry barn also last summer. And I think the grant was somewhere around 15 range, but the building cost 45. But with that seed money, we went out to some local feed dealers and we raised another 8,000, just saying, hey, we have this much money to get started and this is what we want to do. Those are my comments.
Thank you.
Where are the Addison County Fairgrounds?
It's right on Route 17 in New Haven.
Okay.
We're about, what, 3 miles west of the junction of Route 7.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Representative.
I'll make a short comment. Go to the Addison County Fair every year. Your harness teams, carriages, four in hand, they come from the Midwest, from New York, Pennsylvania. It's the greatest display of large carriage to me in the Northeast. It's really spectacular. Really impressive.
And then we have a grounds worker with us today, Leonard Barrett, and Leonard's the guy that just makes everything work. Whether it's water or if it's someone stuck in the mud, Leonard is the man.
Representative O'Brien, if you don't mind, just another question.
I just wondered if you could update us on, because Terry Norris used to sit on this committee with Diane running it.
Right.
Edison, and both the impervious surfaces parking lot issue and the water septic came up a lot in this committee. If you could just update us on that.
So you're talking about the Welcome Center?
Yeah.
Yes. So the Welcome Center we built, I think 2015. It's on. There's a picture in there, and then we have a septic pump, so we don't have an on-site leach field. So Terry, as you mentioned, worked with us, and we had to put in storage. Septic tank storage for that facility, and that was an added cost that we just finished up last year. Last year, or the year before? Yes. Last year. Yeah. And then you mentioned one other thing that we're working with is the 3-acre law, and we have worked. We've met with the engineer. We haven't gotten a whole lot further than that, other than for him to come out and evaluate what the situation is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy Howe, and I'm here from Tunbridge. And I have to say that we appreciate the opportunities you all afford us through the grants and stipends. Last year, our work was on finalizing our Heritage Hall building, which is in the center of the fairgrounds, right next to our grandstand. It replaced a building that had been cobbled together, and the gentleman had rented it for food, saying in the 50s, and every time he wanted to add a couple tables, he just added on a little more space. So being in the floodplain, we were locked into that footprint, and we were able to replace that and open that at the fair this year for our 150th celebration. The work used funding from the money to finish that building. We have a large electrical project in the works. The materials have been ordered. Like almost everyone, we found out, we were under the impression from the electric company that we didn't have enough electricity available on the fairgrounds. What we found out this winter after some other people got involved was we had plenty of electricity, it was just in the wrong places. So now we need to move and adjust and create space, not just for the fair, but for the 29 events that happen there during the season. Everything from the Jenny Brook Music Festival to the Woodstock and Vermont Dog Show in July. Sheep and Wool, of course, they do their festival there in October, and the grounds are available for weddings. The Tunbridge Fairgrounds became the center of Tunbridge, particularly during COVID, because it was the site of our outdoor church services. It was our funeral service venue. It became the village park, a place for the kids to ride bikes, to do whatever. As you know, it's tucked in right behind our village. Our village is very small, and that's the space. We, for probably 7 days of the year, we're the largest employer in the town of Tunbridge, with over 175 paid employees and about 50 volunteers. There's nobody else in town even comes near that. We are working on the electrical project, and we met with Efficiency Vermont last night, in fact, to help bring that outside project inside to the buildings and such. I guess this is my first trip up here, so I think that's what I know.
You must know Representative O'Brien.
Yes.
At town meeting also.
Yes, he's your go-to guy if you ever need anything, and we're happy to have you this morning.
Well, thank you. It's been nice to sit over there because I'm a Middlebury girl. I was brought up in Middlebury, so Addison County Field Days, when you were in Weybridge, was where I started, and then our state day was always at Champlain Valley Exposition. And my horse ran his first horse race at the Caledonia County Fair in the 70s. And I sat with Ken at UVM. So it's like being among old friends today.
You know, just one comment that I find special. Many things about Tunbridge are special, but the cadets from Norwich are volunteers. Are they volunteers or paid?
We have a contract with them.
Yeah, because they're a huge presence and a very pleasant PR for that community. And it's always appreciated.
The contract amount goes back into cadet programs.
In the cadet program.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us this morning.
Just like to, excuse me, just like to wrap up quickly. I know there's some of you that know this and some of you that may have heard about it, but didn't know it. Later in the session, we'll be handing out passes to all the Vermont, New Hampshire fairs. It's a 2-person pass, gets 2 people in for free at any fair in Vermont or any fair in New Hampshire. Just don't give it up. Some fairs aren't. They'll say, okay, thank you. And you say, give that back to me. You don't have to give it up because you can use it at any fair. So we appreciate your support and your help. And we are getting close to the lockdown. I don't know if we should stay put or if we should try to
Probably not stay put. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay put.
No, not stay.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be in here with us or anything.
Yeah. Get out when you can.
I did want to say thank you. It looks like these may have come from you, and very much appreciated. Yeah.
Thanks for the passes. I'm very excited. Oh, thanks for the passes.
Oh, no problem.
Are you gonna go to all of them?
Well, I used to live in Charlotte.